Welcome to Discover Greater Lansing. Whether you're exploring the rich history of the state capital or indulging in incredible local food, there's always something exciting happening here. Discover living. Discover mobility. Discover downtown. Discover giving back. Greater Lansing offers breathtaking activities and outdoor adventures, ensuring a perfect balance of city life and natural beauty. Discover the warmth. Discover the charm. Discover Greater Lansing. The journey begins now.
Good morning and welcome back to Discover Greater Lansing. Today we're going to be flying high. I am thrilled to welcome to our show today Nicole Noel Williams, the CEO of the Capital Region International Airport, and Tim Damon is back again with us, CEO of the Lansing Regional Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for being here today. We can't wait to hear about all the great things and just to have this jewel right in our community to be able to come and go, welcome family and friends and business, and just find out all the new and exciting things. And again, what kind of great economic impact the airport provides for our region. It is a lifeline for sure. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Nicole, for those who may not know, we just give a little snapshot of what the airport offers and what's out there.
Yeah, well, great to be with you and with Tim. You know, we've Tim and I with the Chamber and the airport, we've been great partners for many years because a regional airport is all about that. It's the entire region that needs to support it in multiple ways. And so first thing folks are usually thinking about passenger travel. How am I getting to a business meeting? How am I getting on vacation? And understanding what those options are. But there's even so much more that's tied into the airport. But to kick things off, you know, of course, we've got Delta service and American service, both of them getting us to our hubs, right? Getting us to Detroit and to Chicago so you can connect to anywhere in the world. Then we have American service additionally to Washington, D.C. So that's the one of the top business destinations for our region as we're looking at the state capital, needing service to the nation's capital. But the service, the hub in Washington, D.C. also provides connectivity. So all along that East Coast for destinations, you can make connections in and out of Washington, D.C. And then the Avelo service that started this past year with nonstops to Orlando International Airport, right? It's easy getting out of Lansing to get nonstop right down to Orlando and then go enjoy Disney or family members around the region. And then of course our international service. You know, we've started an international service in 2010. And we started off with 15 international flights, and we're now just shy of 60 international flights for this season. So we're excited about these partnerships and these relationships that we have, getting people right here, center of the state, with service to destinations and getting them to where they need to be, whether it's for family or for business.
Right. I can't emphasize enough, anybody who's traveled out of your airport knows the service is just amazing, and it's a international airport, but it's not the international wait times. And when you say connect to the East Coast, I have to personally thank for getting me to my father's 80th surprise birthday. And that's, when can you call the CEO of the international airport and get that kind of personal service? And then all my travels for business, it's just an exceptional way to go, to know I can drop off, move through TSA so quickly, and they're actually very nice.
And that's one of the benefits, right? You know, we've got these local relationships where you see business travelers coming in and out of the airport on a regular basis, where maybe it's the agent at the ticket counter that's checking you in that knows who you are, or the TSA agent that sees you flying in and out on a regular basis. It's those relationships that help make a difference, and that's the important part. As I've been back in as the role of the president CEO for a little over 2.5 years, and focusing on some of these key development pieces, not only maintaining those relationships, but creating development opportunities. It would really be a tool and an asset for our economic development partners.
Right. And as an East Coast transplant, I've got to say, that's sometimes the first hello you get when you get off the airplane, and to have that Midwest warmth and those relationships are awesome.
Right.
But Tim, that's the warm and fuzzy of it. You see the economic heartbeat that the airport provides for our region. Tell us a little bit about how that works. And it's not just about going to Disney or Cancun, it's also about the health and vitality of our region.
Absolutely, and I think that's the great thing that, as Nicole talked about, all the air service we have, but that's the great thing about that is that balance of that personal travel versus the business travel and being able to do it in a central location. And so, when we think about that economic impact, I look back at that partnership that Nicole referenced, and it's been 20 plus years probably of developing that partnership, and remember kind of putting together the strategy behind establishing Port Lansing. And I remember everyone saying, well, how do you have a Port Lansing when there's no waterway, right? That's what we think of. We naturally think of, Long Beach, California, or New York, or somewhere in Virginia, Norfolk Beach and whatnot. But establishing Port Lansing and then subsequently the foreign trade zone provided that infrastructure for international trade. And so for businesses that are even doing business and partnerships in Canada or wherever that might be, and the ability to utilize and have that flow through Port Lansing and flow through the operations of UPS at the airport as well is very significant. And we always say this, from an economic development standpoint, air service is such a critical role, right? And so imagine trying to do business in this region without air service. It would be very, very difficult to attract, retain, and grow business here. And so it's a key economic development partner, and the air service we have here on both the business and professional side, but more so probably on the cargo as well. Right. And that's the thing that I think most residents and people here are like, what's the cargo? They don't really get that, but there's a lot of exciting developments that have happened here in the past 12 months and probably more to come.
Yeah. All right. Well, and to add, we think of our partnerships that we have on the cargo side. UPS is a Midwest hub located here in Lansing. 63 million pounds of cargo coming in and out of Lansing. So the UPS operation and then their suppliers, they feed everything next day for the entire state of Michigan and neighboring states. So if you look at everything outside of Metro Detroit for anything next day, it has come through our airport, and understanding what that means. So you look at the employment that's at the airport. Over 700 people are employed at the airport in some way, shape, or form. And UPS alone, over 200 employees are part of that UPS operation. And it's important that we look at how do we continue to have this region support those carriers that are coming in and out of here, not just on the passenger side, but the cargo side, and making sure that we have these opportunities to support future development efforts. So if we've got a new manufacturer, we have a new company that's coming into our market, and maybe it's not a demand or a need for passengers to get to certain destinations, but it's the product. How do we make sure that we can help and attract and use these tools that we've established from, foreign trade zones, bonded warehouse facilities, container freight stations? We have that all right here that we can help support for growth for future economic efforts.
Absolutely. So again, most people wouldn't think about cargo and the jobs that go along with it. And our theme here on the show has always been, live, work, and play. And if one of those things is out of balance or we don't offer it, those employees aren't going to want to come work, for UPS. Tim, how important is that placemaking, and what role does the airport play in attracting, retaining talent, growing our economy, just keeping Lansing, alive essentially?
Well, that accessibility, right, and that central location that we have, and so for a lot of people, and Lori, I think you mentioned that, is arriving in, perhaps it's their first time in Michigan, and they're doing that through the Lansing airport. So being able to come in there, and you're looking at what's happening now, and I'll get the names wrong, but you now have this Michigan State sort of theme on the, in the ground level of the main terminal there, right, and so you're seeing that influence of Michigan State University and that global brand and what that means for for our region. So I think it's that welcoming environment, and I have to go back to the central location. I mean, we talk about the supply chain and logistics and the ability to think about multimodal, and so with the air service, but also the mainline rail that runs through the airport as well, and so it all converges there. And there are companies like Niowave that have made strategic business decisions to locate at the airport because it's critically important to their business.
Absolutely.
And so, how do we continue to build on that? And I know Nicole, I love listening to her. I walk away, I learn something every time she's talking, but she talks a lot about drone technology and the impact of what's happening from an R&D standpoint around the country and what that might look like at some point in time for, our region as well. And so it's an economic driver, and I think we can kind of continue to build strategies in attracting businesses into our region for sure.
All right, enough business now. Let's get back to pleasure. So, Nicole, you did talk about, a connector, you know, so Lansing, go to Chicago, and Detroit, you know, Atlanta, wherever your travels may take you. But what about those fun ones, and what about the nonstop ones?
Yes.
Can you shed some light on that for us?
Yeah, and you know, the growth of air service all depends on your region utilizing the services we have, right? So if there's success, you think of any small business, if they're thriving and growing and community is using and supporting them, then you're going to continue to stay, thrive, maybe open up other locations, right? And then it's the same situation when we're talking about airline and our airline partners. So as they continue to rebound really from the pandemic and grow and look at other opportunities down the road, it's making sure that we're supporting those that connect. But those nonstop destinations, you know, Orlando is one of the top leisure destinations that we have in Michigan. The snowbirds wanting to go back and forth, and then of course all of the family and friends that want to go back and forth as well. But we have nonstops to Cancun, Punta Cana, Montego Bay. Those are all with Apple Vacations. They just kicked off. That service will run until the end of basically your spring break window, so the first part of April. So we're excited. Every day of the week we have an international departure except for Tuesday. So folks can visit the airport's website, flylansing.com, or contact a local travel agent, especially with those Apple Vacation charters. They're a great resource to really understand if I'm taking my family or if it's just a couple wanting to go on a vacation, what are you really looking for? And they're educated and aware of those options.
And that's a great reference. Our travel agencies around our region, they're wonderful. They make it so easy. We're all do-it-yourselfers now, but when you're planning a trip with more than one person, including yourself, you know, let the experts take over, and they'll make it such smooth, and they have a great partnership with the airport. They know what works, they know what doesn't work, they've been there. So that's a nice shout out to our small businesses that are around here to help you plan that ideal trip.
And they've been great partners for years. So it's really looking at how do we continue to go after and attract additional services, additional destinations, and by doing so, it's all about growing, creating other opportunities. So as we attract new businesses into this region, we can get people still on vacation to areas without them having to drive a couple hours to use other services, and being able to support what we've got right here.
Yeah, and we've had Choose Lansing, our very own ambassadors for our state. And what role does that play for if national conferences even? Do we see Lansing hosting national conferences for especially the trade associations and others who you see them going to all these other destinations, but we have so much to offer right in our region, and athletics too coming into our hub. So Tim, what do you think the big picture? So you got your business travel, your leisure travelers. How about attracting people to check out Lansing?
Yeah, without question. Well, we are, about 6 months removed from hosting the National Horse Pitching National Championships or something like that. The horseshoe pitching, there we go.
Oh,
so,
wow,
yeah,
okay.
and so you start thinking about that and how that transforms a facility like the Lansing Center. So that means, you know, continuing to invest not only in our downtown area, but investing in facilities like the Lansing Center so that we can stay competitive with not only regions here in the state of Michigan, but throughout the Midwest as well. And again, when you think about that, it's that service through Lansing. And as Nicole mentioned, Delta, you know, the connections right through Detroit, right into Lansing as well through Delta Airlines. And so it's there. The infrastructure's in place for that to continue to continue to grow and thrive here in the Lansing region.
And we might even be bringing in some super theater stars with the opening of Ovation in the next year or so, right downtown, a performing arts center. We're not, you know, Wharton brings in their own actors and actresses and crews too. And so what kind of exciting, fun stories do you have, Nicole, about some of the travelers you've seen through our airport?
Well, it's pretty exciting because we do have, you know, all of those university charters, athletic charters going in and out of the airport on a regular basis, whether it's football or basketball, baseball team. Yeah, and we have those visiting teams that are coming into the airport as well. And then you think of some of these locations where we're bringing these actors, performers, political leaders in and out of of the Lansing Airport. You know, obviously we don't talk a lot about that as we're creating an opportunity for folks to be able to come in and out seamlessly. And but we've had some great experiences. You know, it was wonderful to have the president come in and out shortly after I came back to the airport, and the amount of Marine One, Air Force One, the whole dynamics. It's always great to welcome not just our athletes and our performers, but our political leaders, but it's the families that are coming in and out. It's the people that are returning from, maybe it's a military deployment, and they're coming back home to, you know, be with their families. It's so important, and it's an honor to be a part of some of those.
Well, I'm sure some of those moments are just right there, hellos and goodbyes, right there. That's stuff of what movies are made of.
It reminds me of a great picture at one of my favorite, and probably yours as well, restaurants, DeLuca's, and there was a picture on the wall of President Bill Clinton and Mayor Hollister, and they were on the tarmac at the Capital Ridge International Airport. And so, it's over the years. I mean, there's a lot of probably historical look-backs there, and a lot of great memories for sure.
And the Spartans and their wins coming and
Rose
going,
Bowls
and being able to actually go out there and be part of it as the community is just wonderful. And partnerships run through your airport too. I got to the airport a little, didn't get my lunch yet. What is there? An option?
Right. Yeah, you get yourself checked in, you get through security, you go upstairs, and there's a great little bar restaurant upstairs to be able to maybe grab a cocktail, a bite to eat before you leave on your flight, or maybe it's a cup of coffee first thing in the morning. But we also have that quick grab, a market 24/7. So if you just need to get a bottle of water, you want to get some snacks for your trip. But we've created some seating zones as well, so you almost have like club-like areas where you can just sit and relax, kind of regroup before you leave for your flight. And it's wonderful to see the partnerships. As Tim mentioned, we've got Michigan State University, we've got, relationships with all of our school districts, getting engaged and involved by creating awareness and education just by setting up zones at the airport. So we welcome more of that as we continue to move forward. And we're in the midst of master plan development, looking at what's the future, what is our land, what kind of use do we want to use for various areas, and how do we help make sure that we're prepping those areas so they're build ready. How do we help support economic development, support job opportunities, and making sure we've got an infrastructure that is ready to support additional semi-trucks if we're talking about cargo, or the ease of customers being able to come and go. So all of those pieces are part of our planning now, and it'll take a little bit about a year before we have that piece done, but we're already moving forward with a lot of different projects that kind of tie into that as well.
That's fantastic. That's a sneak peek into our great future, the changing needs of both the business and the leisure traveler, as well as the economic needs. You are so on top of it and flying high that I know we are in good hands with Nicole and Tim at the economic driver. Now tell us, in this last minute or so we have together, you can't name the airport and you can't name the chamber, but if you had to say your number one most favorite thing about the Lansing area, what would it be, Nicole?
It's the people, right? It's, to be where we are today and some of the projects that we're moving forward with, it is all about collaboration. It's all about partnerships. And, that's, from my internal team, and we truly are a team and engaged in working on projects together. And but the entire region coming together and truly being supportive. It's the people.
And I'll take it one step further. It's the diversity of our communities, and the fact that you can be in downtown Lansing and within 10 minutes be in a nice rural area, and all of our wonderful communities and all the assets that they offer.
Well, Nicole and Tim, thank you so much for being here today. We are flying high in the greater Lansing area. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Downtown Lansing has seen so much transformation throughout the day. Kathleen, can you tell us a little bit more about some of the types of things people can enjoy during the evening time?
Yeah, when it comes to the evening hours and just downtown Lansing life in general, there's really been more of a shift into the evening hours as Downtown Lansing Inc. and our entire community prioritizes the needs of all of our residents and people who call the Lansing community home. So we've seen businesses open into the evening hours for everything from, a date night, higher end dining experience at Envy and Bodie's to so many cultural flavors being offered at some of our newer and legacy businesses, from La Cocina Cubana, Tatse. We have Market on the Squared. Of course, Veg Head has come on the scene offering vegetarian food items. We have Sweet Encounter Bakery and Cafe that really fits a variety of dietary needs with delicious sweet treats, breakfast and lunch menu items. Batter Bistro has expanded from their traditional breakfast and lunch into the evening hours as well. Of course, Lansing Shuffle has come on the scene. Sidecar Slider Bar, Bobcat Bonnie's is brand new in our downtown Lansing community. There are so many great flavors and experiences found in downtown Lansing. Come back. Choose downtown Lansing as your next dining hotspot.
Yes, no, all those dining options sound so great. But what about for those people who tend to spend more time shopping?
Oh, so many wonderful shop opportunities found in downtown Lansing as well, open into the evening hours up until 7 p.m.
Up until 7 p.m., that's great. And there's also just so many different varieties of stores. What types of things can people find shopping downtown?
When you come shopping downtown, whether it's been a year or it's been years since you've been downtown, you will find colorful fashions from Capitol Hippie, your classic menswear from Casa Checks. The shops at Middle Village offer a variety of one-stop shopping experiences, bookstores, and more.
Thank you so much, Kathleen.
So, Sean, thank you so much for joining me today. Sean O'Brien, Collier's commercial here in the Lansing area.
Well, thanks, Karen. Yes, we're one of the, Collier's International is one of the global real estate brands. We're in the top 3 around the world. We're in 80 countries, roughly, in 500 locations in the state of Michigan. We have seven locations here. But Lansing started in 2019.
Nice.
To kind of bridge the gap between where our talent was on the east side of the state and the west side of the state. So we've been really well received internally, and we've been able to assemble a nice, talented group to help support both retail, industrial, office markets, and investment here in
Nice.
the Lansing area.
Good. Well, I've got a couple of quick questions for you. I'd like to ask you, first of all, what do you see trending in 2024?
Well, there's a lot of what started, during COVID, which is the hybrid work model. It is evolving, quite frankly. A lot of companies are finding that it works well for them. They're able to have less amount of square footage for their office space, and yet at the same point in time there is a significant push to bring some people back more frequently. Like the state of Michigan is 2 days a week, and I think it's a requirement to be in there 1 day a week.
Great.
But that's going to change, and I think what's exciting is there's more people will be back to work in our downtowns.
Okay, great. So then one word answer for us. What is the word that comes to mind when you think about our market here? What is the one word that describes Greater Lansing commercially?
Stable real estate market.
Nice. Thank you.
The Lansing Regional Chamber is pleased to be part of Discover Greater Lansing, where we will celebrate and showcase the economic growth and assets that define our region. We are experiencing an extraordinary transformation with over $4 billion in new investment and thousands of new jobs. Placemaking, including the integration of arts, entertainment, and culture, plays a pivotal role in shaping our vibrant communities. Infrastructure is the backbone of economic growth, and we're seeing historic levels of investment exceeding $800 million, including the planned reconstruction of Michigan Avenue, connecting Michigan State University to our state capitol. As you embark on your journey to discover Greater Lansing, we encourage you to immerse yourselves in the unique experiences our region has to offer, support the small businesses that form the heartbeat of Lansing, and joining us in fostering an environment where innovation, collaboration, and prosperity flourish. Together, let's build a stronger Lansing.
Hi, Lori. Can you tell us a little bit about how the Community Foundation came to invest in Rotary Park?
Yeah, it was a great meeting of the minds, so to speak. We knew that we were going to invest a lot into the downtown Lansing riverfront, and that was where everybody wanted us to start, that area. And I started thinking, who needs to be a partner in this? Who really has it going on and who really wants to invest in the area, in the downtown. And it had to be Rotary. And as a Rotarian, it was perfect. So went to the powers that be and said, what do you think about this? We don't have a Rotary Park. Lots of communities have a Rotary Park. And they said, yeah, I think this could be a go. And so they made a huge investment in Rotary Park.
And since the park's been constructed, what have you seen as, what's made it special to the community?
Well, there's nothing like it in all of the Tri-Counties. There's an urban beach, there's a plaza with string lights and lighted forest that changes colors, and we've got the river trail going right through it. So it's a great gathering place for everybody. It's attractive to kids and adults and older citizens alike, and everybody. It's constantly busy. It's probably the #1 used park in all the Lansing parks.
It's a great spot to have lunch.
It is a great spot to have lunch. Lots of people have lunch, even on colder days.
Thank you.
Ashton, can you tell us why community members should ride CATA?
Absolutely. CATA offers a gateway for all members of the community to visit and seek out the amazing opportunities that our region has to offer. It's low in cost, and you don't have to deal with the parking struggles that you typically would in a larger city, both downtown Lansing or on campus in East Lansing. And it just offers a easy and affordable way to get to where you would like to go.
Absolutely, and you don't also have to deal with the expenses that a vehicle owner would have to deal with.
Absolutely, and that includes parking as well as with the time constraints of having to deal with a vehicle in a larger area.
So where are your favorite destinations to go to in the capital city region?
There are so many different destinations, it's almost hard to choose. But one of my favorites absolutely is Potter Park Zoo. They offer so many different exciting events year-round. You can get there on CATA's Route 8, which makes it really convenient. You don't have to deal with waiting in line or parking. And especially their Holiday Lights event is always one of my personal favorites. Another one of my favorite locations in the area that you can get to on CATA's Route 14 and 16 is Old Town. There are so many different options for arts and culture and food that you can find a little bit of everything in Old Town just strolling around for hours.
And really quick, what about in the downtown Lansing area? Favorite destination?
In the downtown Lansing area, again, there's so many. You can obviously go right to the Capitol building, and Route 1 will take you there. Route 1 will also get you to places like Impression 5 or the Ari Olds Museum downtown.
To learn more about what the Greater Lansing area has to offer, go to discovergreaterlansing.com.
Wow, what another great show and another reason to discover Greater Lansing. So many wonderful things happening in our great, great community. From living, working, and playing, we've got it right here in Greater Lansing. Thanks for joining us.